Well, our speaker and our singer today is a gem. Judy Armstrong is a professional singer, songwriter, speaker, and coach who opens your heart and touches your soul through music, laughter, and inspiration. Judy's work with sound and the emotional, physical, and spiritual well being of the whole person has led her to compose, produce, and perform 6 very unique CDs. You heard 2 of her recorded songs before the service today, and that was wonderful. And now let's welcome Judy Armstrong. Take it away, Judy.
There we go. Can you hear me? Okay, hi. Hello, everyone. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Pixie. It's very interesting for me to listen to what has happened in the service so far and to realize that there are, in this world, living in this dimension, there are lots of interruptions and lots of things that we think perhaps are going what we might call wrong. And yet, if we look at it another way, everything is perfect. So when I'm a speaker, and I'm not really telling you anything that you don't already know, I'm telling you from my experience what I have learned. And if something resonates with you as I speak it, then make it your own. And if it doesn't, just lay it on a shelf and then just take into your own I am presence what is right for you. So as I said, as a speaker, we teach what we most need to learn. So yesterday, for instance, there were all sorts of little, what I might call little glitches. And I thought that I had centered in the morning. I always give my love to my beloved I am presence in the morning, pour my love out to ascended masters. And I am in this wonderful country now. I look out at this peace and I see the deer. I saw an owl on my walk yesterday and this is just absolutely perfect. And I thought that I was centered. And in that moment, yes, I was. So there were all sorts of little things that happened, miscommunications, nobody's fault. Nobody ever is at fault. There's no right or wrong, but thinking makes it so, as Shakespeare said. So then I went into town. When I say town, it's actually, I went into city. It's about a 40-minute drive. And my car said, tire pressure low at the back. So, oh, I just got a new tire, and I was, how could anything else go wrong? But I chose not to go there. I thought, okay, it will all work out. I'll just let myself be led to the right person who can fix it or look at it. And sure enough, I did that. And I said, okay, I have a choice here. I have a choice. Am I going to surrender to thy will be done? Or am I going to get in the way and let my will be done? And what is the difference here? What is the difference between thy will and my will? So I called this talk, Will I Am or Will I Not? That is the question. And of course, you probably realize that taking it from Shakespeare's writings, to be or not to be, that is the question. So I went to the National Theatre School years ago in Montreal, my early training. And we did lots of Shakespeare then, and I didn't really understand it, to tell you the truth, at that point, even though we were in the plays and what it really meant. And even now, I'm going deeper into the hidden codes, which still have not been discovered in Shakespeare's writings, but what that means. So, will I am, William, will I am, Shakespeare, shake a spear at the what we call the human condition. So it's quite a challenge sometimes to be in this world, but not of it. And sometimes we have we go through a day and we have what we might call little challenges or little glitches or things that bother us, things that trigger us. So what I had to look at yesterday was, if these things are appearing in the outer world to me, then what is the energy that I am carrying that brings that about. So remember, it's not the other way around. Whatever I see out there in this three-dimensional 3D world is the energy that I am carrying. So I used to hold on to a lot of things for years. I did a lot of research in that, holding on to things and thinking that, oh, why is this happening? However, when I had a real look at what was I carrying inside me, what is my core belief about myself, and what I discovered was that my core belief, it was beyond my conscious mind. I didn't realize that this was actually what I was thinking, what I was believing about myself. My core belief was that I was inferior. Now, in order to compensate for that, I had lots of musical talent, and I had lots of accolades. I was always winning scholarships, and my name was always in the news. And Judy has won this scholarship, and I started thinking that that was who I was, and started playing that role. So it was a cover-up, even though, yes, I had talent. Yes, I was a beautiful person. Yes, we all are. Yes, I was a good person. That's true. But the cover-up for me was to even do more of that, get my name more in the news, to cover up my feeling of inferiority, which of course was not the truth. It never is of any of us, that core belief that is anything less than what we really are. But I believed it, and I created a story around it. And when I created a story around it, then that became my belief. And then the behavior for me was to always appear to be nice. Now, I am actually, the truth is, I am a nice person. I'm a good person. I love everyone. I see the good in everyone. But there's a difference between that and pretending to be nice. So for me, it was get real. So I was a performer all my life. And so there's the difference between performing and being. So that was always easier for me on stage, for instance, to do a role, which I still love to do, and I do. But there's a difference between being yourself within that role and just actually pretending I'm something else that I am actually not. So I just thought I would share with you kind of some fun things that have happened to me lately. So as we know, we've all been through an interesting period, a great awakening on this planet. And I had a concert that was planned actually in May of 2020, and had to cancel that, or had to change it to September of 2020, change that again. The theater was closed, changed it to May of this year. That was changed and postponed. So I thought maybe there's a bigger plan for me here, that I'm not to do that at this time, or maybe it might look a different way. And so for me, it was all about surrender. It was all about letting go and saying, what is thy will? But Tink Robinson, many of you who are watching here and are sharing this time with us, actually know my husband, Tink Robinson, and Unity right in Vancouver on Fort Oak is where we first started our spiritual work, I would say. And also aside from that, and alongside of that, Tink and I had a wonderful master teacher, ascended master teacher, actually, that we called Oskinanton. And he always used to say, thy will be done, dear ones, not my will. And I remember I was in my 20s when I heard this, and I heard it over and over and over again. And I thought, oh, well, that's easy for you to say, but you don't have to live here. Well, of course, that was a very naive youth thing to say, but I was all gung-ho to understand. And what did that mean? What does it really mean to say thy will be done? And what is the difference between thy will and my will? So when we are in our Christed self, or our Christ consciousness self, God man or God woman, then my will and thy will become one. Where there can be confusion sometimes is that we think thy will is something that is outside of ourselves, or that I used to think, oh, maybe I have to do it, or I'm told to do this, but I really don't want to do it. However, when I surrender to thy will or the greater, life just flows. It's the most incredible feeling. So how do I know the difference between thy will and my will? When I get in the way, the expression, I live, but not the little me. Christ liveth in me, or the Christ consciousness liveth in me. So when I get in my way and I try to make things happen and I force things to happen, then it all goes askew somehow. I don't mean to say that there's anything wrong. There's no right or wrong anyway, but anything wrong with setting goals or having a plan, and that's fine, especially living in this 3D. I mean, we all met together. We all met at this time so we could share this time together. And so we have to, in this earth dimension, we have to go on a schedule, or at least we think that we do, until we evolve beyond that and we get into higher dimensions, as we will be doing in the 7th golden age. And we're just at the beginning of it now. So when I make things happen and try to force things to happen in my little agenda, I find for me, my experience is that I run into a lot of glitches, or I things that don't work or don't seem to work. Now, what I have found is that when I surrender all of that, I say, okay, there's a bigger plan. Perhaps I'm not meant to do that right now. There must be some, show me what it is I'm to do in this moment. So I was just telling you a minute ago that I live out in the countryside now in the beautiful rolling hills. And when the smoke clears, I'll be able to see the mountains again. It's absolutely beautiful. And so they've started community gardens here. I have my own little place on this 165-acre ranch. It's most incredible. They've started community gardens, and I have one of the gardens. And so I go out, kind of take turns watering the gardens. And they have 5 cows here, and they have lots of place to roam. So on the other side of the fence, the 5 cows line up and wait for me to come out and water. They line up and they look at me. So I talk to them and I sing to them, and they make their and they make their sounds, and then some, and they chew their cud. And I just thought, this is so much fun. I have a new concert audience here. Who would think? Who would think? And just, a couple of 2 or 3 days ago, I saw a doe with 2 twin fawns with little spots on them just outside the kitchen window. I thought, this is so wonderful. This is so natural, and it is so quiet here. I saw an owl, a gray owl, on the fence looking at me yesterday. It's the most amazing thing. So when I surrender and when I become still with whatever is happening, that is when I know that the presence, the bigger presence, some people call it the higher power or the God self or Allah, it doesn't matter what you call it, the cosmic presence, it has many names, many, many names. You know that feeling when you are surrendering to thy will be done, because for me, I would just speak for myself, I feel completely at peace, and there is a knowing. So yesterday, I had a few little, back to yesterday, a few of the old patterns slip in and saying, oh, I have to get a new tire again and just got one, blah, 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 blah. That's all monkey mind stuff, right? It didn't last very long. I'm getting much better now at surrendering. And I said, okay, what is the issue here? What is the energy I am carrying that I would fall in quickly to that old thought pattern? And thank goodness it doesn't last very long this time, because I'm recognizing it. And am I willing to then let that go and then bring in what I do want? And I said, okay, the issue here is the affordability, right? How will I, can I manage this month because there are extra expenses with moving? Okay, so that's a 3-dimensional thought. It's fine. I thought that. And then I said, okay, Judy, tomorrow, which is today, of course, you are going to talk about thy will be done, not mine. And I remember that Tink and I had a wonderful teacher years ago in psychology of vision. His name was Dr. Chuck Spezzano. And I remember Chuck saying in one of our big group workshops in Hawaii, he said, "Masters play." And I thought, masters play. What do you mean by that? He said, when you are in your mastery, or when you are in your center, when you are in your Christed presence, when you are presencing, you let go and you allow, and everything falls into place, and everything that you need will be presented to you. Everyone you need to meet will be presented to you in each moment when you are aware. And there are messages that are given to us all day long, all day long. Sometimes we just get too busy and we don't pay attention. But when we do pay attention, when we breathe in and we are presencing, then we get the insight of maybe what the next thing is to do, which may be go for a walk. It might be phone a friend. It might be do nothing and let that be okay. Whatever the message is, when I remember to say yes to it, then miracles happen. So yesterday I did that. I said, okay, Judy, I'm talking to myself. You don't just say these things. You must become these things. So you are presencing. You are presence with what you are saying. So I did that yesterday. And as I was walking last night, when I saw the owl, I did have my phone with me. And I usually turn it off, but I happened to have it on. And there was a message that came through. And guess what? It was from a friend I know from another group that I have known for, about 5 years. And she said, Judy, my daughter is really needing and wanting to express her voice. And would you consider teaching her? I know that you're not living where she lives. And I said, I would love to. I'm teaching on Zoom a lot now. And I do have some in person who live close. But the Zoom, I'm teaching somebody from Amsterdam. So it's actually worldwide now. And there was the answer to a blessing when I let go my agenda of how will I pay for the new tire and blah, 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 right? So when I let it go and I said, okay, I am by all God's love. I know I am, and I trust completely. Doubt is the thing that can really catch us up. It can get in the way and it can just throw us off center. And I said, when I say us, I actually look at myself. If I let even a little bit of doubt get in the way of what I really know to be the truth for me, then things don't jive. So not only did that miracle happen, but I had the one from Amsterdam wants to take, sign up for 10 more lessons. So then, maybe not in what I think is my time, but in God's time, it is absolutely perfect. And I know somebody who has an expression that she says at the end of every email. She said, when you realize that everything is perfect, then the fun begins. And I can remember questioning that. I said, I don't know, everything perfect? Okay. The way we look at perfection is maybe in the earth plane, the things that we've created here and the angst and the agenda now that's been going on for the last year and a half to divide us. And yet the truth of me knows I will never be divided. I will always be in unity. I will always listen to this. And I have found that no matter what I hear or what I read, and I don't listen to the news anymore, whatever somebody else's agenda is for me is not my agenda. It might be somebody else's. They might say, yeah, that's for me. And that is their choice. Because we have the choice every minute to either flow with God or with the presence, or say, no, I'm going to resist it. So really, we have two choices. Will I surrender? Will I let thy will be done? Or will I resist it? Will I shut it out? Will I keep my smallness? What do I choose? Excuse me, what do I choose? Another one of Shakespeare's, one of the favorite sayings that I love, as well as to be or not to be, from Hamlet, that is the question, is there is more to heaven and earth than is dreamt of in your philosophy, Horatio. There is more to heaven and earth, Horatio, that is dreamt of in your philosophy. Now that's very interesting, because here we are, we're under the umbrella right now of unity, which is a beautiful, beautiful teaching, and it gives us scope for us to branch out in many, many different ways. However, there are many, many groups around the world, all doing what their philosophy is, or what they're teaching, the Starseed teachings, the Ascended Master teachings. There are many, many teachings, and you will find that the common theme through all of that is love. And if we can remember that, because we are finding on the earth plane, there's so many things that are being crammed at us right now, at least from my perspective, that we look at it and then we create a story around it, or a belief around it, or a story. And then that is something that we make into our truth. And yet if you stop for a minute and you say, who am I? Who am I? So just for a moment with me, I ask you to take an in-breath just in a moment. And as you in-breath through your nose and you inhale, I want you to imagine that you're bringing in the presence of God, the God presence, the real you, the truth of you, your higher self, your higher power. I call it the I am, or the beloved I am presence. That's my name for it. You'll have your own perhaps. And as you breathe in that presence, and you breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in through your nose, and then you hold it until you feel, some people see a flash of golden white light, some people just feel the energy shift, and then when it's time to release, you release it through your mouth, just let it go. And as you do that, the violet fire, the violet flames, which is purified in that in-breath, then comes out and then spreads out to the world. So you're purified with the violet flames. And let's do that 3 times together. So here we go. Breathe in. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it until it's comfortable. Golden flash, white light. And violet flames. And again, breathe in through your nose. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. And when you reach your capacity for breathing in, hold it. The flash of golden white light or energy, as however you feel it. And then violet flames. And one more time. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in through your nose. Flash of golden white light. And then just breathe normally. Feel the space around you. Feel the space around you that is beyond this 3D world, that you can, with your energy, go out through the walls of your home or your dwelling or wherever you are right now, or if you're outside, you can go out beyond the trees. Go out, out, out. Feel the space, feel the space, feel the space. Go up into the heavens, feel the space. Know that whether or not you can see the sun or not, the sun, beloved godparents of the physical sun, Helios and Vesta, are shining the light on this world, which is symbolic of the light of you. Beloved, I am presence. I am, I am. I am that I am. Out, 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 out with the space, and now go inside with the space. Go inside your being. Go inside your cells. Go inside the protons and electrons and neutrons. Go inside. And inside there, breathe into it, is space. Is space. Space. And in that space, through all your organs and all your cells, is the God presence. The presence is always at hand. I am here, I am there, I am everywhere. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet, I am, I am, I am. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet, I am, I am, I am, I am. Breathe and be in the light that you are. One of my favorite images, I just have a little one here, which I'll hold up to the camera and see if you can see it, is one artist's depiction of the self of us, and then you will see when I show it to you, the violet flames of protection around and below this figure that is us, and the halo of light, and then connected to the silver, what some call the silver cord. Our ascended master teacher taught us that, and then the presence above you and above you. So you're connected to the I am within your own chest cavity, within your physical body, and then let's see if that will show. Let me see. So there's, I'll just hold it back a little bit. There's at the bottom there, you see the man, woman, just with the arms out there and the violet flames. And then I'll just bring that a bit closer, the presence of you. So that is something that for me, I connect to that every morning when I get up. And I look out into the eastern skies and face thy eternal sunrise. And I look at the eternal sunrise, or even if there's a sunrise, at least I face the east, and I honor my beloved. I honor my beloved. I pour my love out to the beloved and feel the radiance manifesting now in my life. And the golden sun's presence within my chest cavity rises and goes out 1,000 feet, 1,000 yards, 1,000 miles and more, so that everyone that walks within this radiance of this golden presence will remember their own presence, and therefore will shine their light in whatever unique capacity they have, using whatever unique talents they have. And it might be something as simple as, I love to work with cars, or I love to go for walks, or I love to sing to plants, or I love to sing, or I don't love to sing. I would rather do this, this, and this. Whatever it is for you, just look inside yourself and say, who am I? Who am I? And then listen. Who am I? Who am I? It'll be interesting to see what you are given and what you are told when you stop thinking, well, I know I am God. I know that God is good. So that's what I used to do. And that is fine. That is fine. But those are the things that I have learned from what I have been told. So what I have learned big time this last year and a half is to listen perhaps to what the outer is saying, or what is being bombarded to us, or what we are told is, and then say, okay, I will listen to that. I will do my own research, not what your research is, but my research is. And then after that, I will still question, and I will go inside and I will say, what feels true for me? As I say it, I might come up with something different than what may be true for you. And that's okay. So then, can we stand side by side, and without being so definitive, well, this is what my truth is, and somebody said, well, this is my truth, and then get in an argument about it. What if we let everyone be with whatever works for them? So then there's no division, there's unity, as this is called unity, right? Just remember that, there's a great big poster that Tink and I used to have in our stairwell, and it was a picture of a big orangutan, and it said, the saying was, or the capture was, I'm sure you think you understand what you think I said, but I don't think you realize that what you think you heard is not what I meant. I used to look at that, this funny old orangutan saying that, and it used to always make me smile. And I heard something else somebody has said a while ago. If you're having a disagreement with somebody, and then you're so determined to be right, you know, and you're trying to make your point, and this person's trying to make their point, and say, sometimes it's better to just stop it, walk away, and let the other person be wrong. I thought that was funny, let them be wrong, and then you still think that you're right. But what more the truth could be is what feels right to me. Okay? So I'd like to sing a song for you. I wasn't quite sure what song I would sing, but I thought I would sing one that I actually wrote a long time ago. Just sticking the words up here on the computer here because I haven't sung it for a while. I think I mostly know it. And as I said, I wrote it a long time ago. It has not been recorded, but it feels like one that I want to sing and close with today. So it is called One Day. And actually, I wrote this originally for Tink when he was having some hard times and just working out some things. And I was pouring my love out to him. And so he was just out at a meeting. And so when he came back, I sang this song to him. So as I sing a song and I'm talking, I say he in the song, but it's not he at all. It's he or she. So if you're a woman and you're listening to this, you can just replace what I say he, you can replace it to she. All right. So it's called One Day. Let me see. One day the world was blessed with sunshine. One day there came along a little one who would change the world. He knew he had come to give the earth his song. One day it seemed the child grew older. One day he went away to search for love all around the world, for happiness was out there, it seemed. But the little child forgot his dream. One day his beating heart was troubled. One day he wondered where the little one who would change the world had gone. What he tried to find wasn't there. One day, when living held no reason, One day there came around a little one who looked up to him and said, teach me how to live right now. But the man had forgotten how. One day he found the tears were falling. One day his heart felt sad, and from that place that was deep inside, he tried giving all the love he had. And on that day his heart was opened. That day there came along a little one who looked up to him and said, your love has always known. His little child had come back home, and his loving child stayed back home. What does it like? What feels like? How does it feel to be at home in your heart? After Tink transitioned 5.5 years ago, I knew he was fine. I knew he was well. He always said to me, be happy. Only I had spurts of happiness, and I kept trying to find my physical home. Moved around a lot, would leave, that wasn't right, moved back someplace else, moved to Ontario, moved back here, moved back. And now I have my own little place in the country, still surrounded by people. And I have found what I knew all along is that my home is in my heart. So will I am or will I not? That is the question. What do you choose? Ask the question, who am I? And then listen. Thank you. My love to you all.
Thank you so much, Judy, for your enlightening and yet very practical message, and for your deeply heartwarming and delightful songs. Thank you so much. What a blessing.